I really love it when people tell me the mental load isn't real, because when they tell me that, it gives me an opportunity to give them real life examples of what the mental load looks like. And today I was talking to a mom friend of mine, and I don't mean to laugh, but I just feel like this is like the perfect example of the mental load and how so often couples just don't connect on what it actually is, because she typically is the person who coordinates the childcare for her kids. So summer camp, after school care, daycare, all of those things. And her husband does pickups, he does drop-offs when needed, but ultimately she's the one who coordinates everything, as is pretty typical in a lot of relationships. Men do the tasks and women do kind of the planning and the execution and all of that stuff. And so yesterday, she was at a doctor's appointment with her son, and her daughter was at camp because it's spring break. And so her daughter goes to this camp every single break, and camp always ends at 5. This is not the first time they've been there. And while she was at the doctor's appointment, or on the way home from the doctor's appointment, and she gets a call from a number she doesn't know. And she's like, oh, what is this? So she answers it, and it's camp. And they say, hey, everything is okay, but camp did end at 5 o'clock, and it's now 5:15, and your child's still here. And she's like, oh my gosh. So sorry. Her dad is picking her up. Let me call him. And so he answers the phone, and he's like, hey babe, what's up? And she's like, well, you are late to pick up our daughter. Camp ends at 5. And he has no idea. He's like, oh my gosh, I thought it ended at 5:30. After school care is always at 5:30. And so I just assumed 5:30. And despite the fact that he has done this pickup before, he has no clue that camp ends at 5. And this is the mental load. He does the pickup, but she's responsible for knowing when, how, and telling him about it. She's responsible for being the person who always knows what time camp starts and what time camp ends, and telling her partner so he doesn't forget. Mind you, he has picked the daughter up at this camp every other day this week. He knows it ends at 5, and yet he still forgot. Here's the thing. It's not a big deal if you forget one time, right? But this is the thing that so often happens in relationships. Moms are responsible for remembering all of these things and delegating all of these things and reminding their partner about all of these things. And when their partner drops the ball, who gets the call? She does, right? She's the one who gets the call. She's the one who's like answering the phone, telling them, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And ultimately, she's probably the person who's going to get the bill, because that is what happens when you're late to pick up. You get charged for it. So it's not a big deal when it happens once. But the thing is, so often in relationships, this doesn't just happen once. It's everything. Women are in charge of everything. Moms are in charge of everything. They're the ones who know all the half days and no school days and summer breaks and all the things. And they're the ones constantly arranging schedules and then getting their partner on board with understanding those schedules. And so I know I was laughing at the beginning of this, and I'm laughing mostly just because it's like so many women can relate to this experience where they are constantly the person in charge of managing the calendar for their entire families, and their husbands will get credit because they do pickups and they do drop-offs, but they are never the ones responsible for actually knowing when those things happen, and their wives are the ones who get the call when they drop the ball.